Did you know that over 59% of Americans don't even have $1,000 saved for an emergency? Yet every year, they still spend thousands on things they don't really need. Maybe you've asked yourself, I work so hard. Why does my life never seem to get better? The truth is, it's not your fault. No one ever taught you how to manage your money the right way. In this video, we'll reveal 11 common mistakes poor people make that the rich avoid at all costs, along with real, practical tips to help you start building wealth today. And at the end, we'll uncover the biggest mistake of all, the one that keeps so many people trapped, never reaching financial freedom. 1. High-interest credit card debt. On the path to financial freedom, there's one trap that catches millions of people, especially those in their middle age: high-interest credit card debt. It's one of the biggest reasons so many stay stuck in the cycle of poverty and can't build lasting wealth. Every year, millions of Americans pay 20% to 30% interest on credit card balances, most of which were spent on short-term pleasures like eating out, entertainment, or impulse shopping. The danger: compound interest, often called a miracle when it works in your favor, becomes a silent killer when it's working against you. Instead of growing your money, you end up paying thousands of dollars more just to cover expenses from the past. Even worse, many people use credit cards as a quick fix to maintain a lifestyle that's beyond their real financial means. They get trapped in a vicious loop. Spend now, pay later, interest adds up, and then spend again just to survive. This is known as the loss loop, and it keeps people in a reactive state, making it nearly impossible to build real wealth. Now, let's be clear. The rich aren't afraid to use credit cards. They just use them wisely. They understand that debt should be a tool to invest in assets, not a drain from mindless consumption. On the flip side, people without a solid financial plan often fall into the poor mindset, treating credit cards like free money. If you want to break free from this cycle, start by hitting pause on credit card use until your current debt is cleared. Use the debt avalanche method. Pay off the highest interest debt first. At the same time, take a hard look at your spending habits, restructure your personal finances, and shift your focus toward long-term wealth-building activities like saving and investing. Avoiding unnecessary consumer debt isn't just the smart financial move. It's the first step toward a more intentional, empowered lifestyle. And that's the real foundation for building lasting wealth. 2. Overspending on appearance. By the time many people reach middle age, they're still chasing validation through how they look, and it's quietly sabotaging their finances. From luxury hair salons and crystal-studded nails to high-end makeup and designer clothes, it's easy to burn through hundreds, even thousands of dollars each month just to look wealthy. The problem? These expenses don't create real value, especially if you don't work in an industry where appearance is your currency, like fashion or media. For most of us, especially those trying to get their finances under control and build a secure future, it's just money down the drain. In boardrooms or investor meetings, you rarely see anyone flashing diamond rings or luxury bags, because people who are truly wealthy know that confidence and competence don't come from how you look. Many fall into the trap of the poor mindset, believing that looking rich will make others respect or value them more. But the truth is, trying to keep up with the glossy, curated lives on social media, where everyone's showing off their highlight reel, only leads to mounting debt and pressure to constantly spend. Instead of pouring your energy into appearances, invest in what truly builds wealth from the inside out: knowledge, health, and passive income streams. Sustainable wealth doesn't come from shopping. It comes from discipline and long-term thinking. One simple but powerful strategy is to set a personal appearance budget. Say, no more than 5% of your monthly income. You can still look neat and professional without spending excessively. Cut back on frequent salon visits, focus on affordable at-home self-care, and stop buying things just to impress others. You'll save a significant amount over time. In the end, ask yourself this: are you spending to look rich or to be rich? That single distinction could mean the difference between a life buried in debt or one of true financial freedom. 3. Impulse spending. One of the most common yet quietly destructive financial habits is impulse spending. As we reach middle age, and our income becomes more stable, it's easy to fall into the mindset of "I deserve this" whenever we receive unexpected money, like a tax refund, a bonus, or simply the relief of paying off a debt. And just like that, the extra cash gets funneled into spontaneous purchases. Electronics, clothes, kitchen gadgets, whatever's on crazy weekend sale. The truth is, money that isn't planned has a way of disappearing just as quickly as it came. That rush of seeing your bank balance go up can trigger a false sense of freedom, making you feel like you've earned the right to spend. But that's exactly how people get stuck in the cycle of earn and burn, never saving, never building wealth. It gets even worse when those impulse buys are made on credit cards, especially those with high limits. What many don't realize is that today's $500 impulse purchase can easily balloon to $600 or $700 after a few months of interest charges at 20 to 30%. That's real money being thrown away, all because of a fleeting moment of temptation. People with a wealthy mindset don't let emotions dictate their financial choices. They live by simple rules like wait 48 hours before buying anything over $100, or only buy what you need, not what's on sale. These small acts of discipline are the quiet engines behind long-term wealth. If you want to break free from impulse spending, start tracking every expense for a month. Separate what's essential from what's emotional. Better yet, set up an automatic transfer that moves part of your income into savings or investments the moment your paycheck hits, so the money is out of reach before you're tempted to spend it. At the end of the day, shopping isn't the problem. The problem is mindless shopping. On the road to financial freedom, your biggest enemy isn't a low income. It's those small, repeated decisions that slowly drain your future. 4. Overspending on food and dining. In today's fast-paced world, eating out or ordering from apps like DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Grubhub has become second nature. But for many, especially those who haven't yet achieved financial freedom, this habit is one of the biggest silent money drains. Spending hundreds of dollars each month for the sake of convenience or saving time can quietly pile up into serious long-term financial stress. There's no denying the convenience of fast food and delivery services, but that convenience comes at a steep cost. Marked up menu prices, delivery fees, driver tips, and hidden service charges. A single meal that would cost $7 to cook at home can easily jump to $20 or more when ordered in. Do that a few times a week, and you're suddenly looking at $500 or more a month. Money that could be used to invest or pay down debt. The problem doesn't stop there. Poor planning at the grocery store is another hidden culprit. Many people shop without a list at places like Costco or Whole Foods, buying in bulk or choosing premium items they don't truly need. The result? Overpurchasing, spoiled food, and wasted money. In the US, it's estimated that 30 to 40% of food gets thrown out, especially produce, dairy, and meat. That's not just wasteful, it's like throwing cash straight in the trash. Wealthy people aren't against dining out. They just do it with intention. They plan their meals, know their limits, and understand that every dollar spent today should be weighed between short-term pleasure and long-term value. A simple but powerful strategy is meal prepping at the start of each week. It saves money, improves nutrition, and gives you full control over what and how much you consume. If you're serious about building wealth and breaking free from the cycle of short-term consumerism, start with the most overlooked part of your budget, your kitchen. Cut back on eating out, shop with purpose, and reduce food waste. These small changes can have a massive impact on your long-term finances. Because a wealthy mindset doesn't begin with your first big investment. It begins with how you manage the everyday spending that no one sees. 5. Neglecting healthcare. One of the most overlooked financial mistakes people make in middle age is neglecting their health. When money feels tight, it's tempting to prioritize expenses that offer instant gratification, like dining out, entertainment, or shopping, while brushing aside things that don't seem urgent like dental visits, regular checkups, or health screenings. But this delay can silently snowball into massive financial consequences down the road. In the US, medical debt is one of the leading causes of personal bankruptcy. People skip a $200 dinner visit thinking they're saving money, only to later face $2,000 bills for root canals, gum disease treatments, or implants. Avoiding regular checkups can mean catching diseases too late, when treatment is more expensive, more invasive, and far more life-altering. It doesn't just drain your wallet, it affects your entire quality of life. Think of your health as part of your long-term wealth. Just like a car needs routine maintenance to stay reliable, your body needs regular care through balanced nutrition, exercise, and preventive medical visits. This is one of the most important investments you can make, because when your health breaks down, so does your ability to earn, build wealth, and take care of those you love. People with a wealth mindset don't see health expenses as a burden. They see them as non-negotiable investments. They proactively buy good health insurance, live healthy lifestyles, and set aside funds for annual checkups, dental care, and even therapy if needed. This not only protects them from financial shocks due to illness, but also helps them work longer, live better, and maintain their financial independence. So if you're tightening your budget, don't cut corners on your health. Instead of pouring money into short-term pleasures like takeout or the latest gadgets, allocate part of your income toward preventive care, nutrition, and physical activity. Because money can be earned back, but once your health is gone, the price you pay to recover it is often far greater. 6. Entertainment and gaming expenses. Entertainment is a natural part of modern life. We all need moments to relax and unwind. But when entertainment begins to consume too much of your time and money, it stops being a well-earned reward and quietly turns into a burden that holds you back. This is especially true for those in their middle years, when financial pressure, family responsibilities, and the desire to build lasting wealth become more urgent. Today, dozens of streaming platforms and mobile games are competing for your attention and your wallet. Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, Spotify, ESPN+, plus in-app purchases from games like Candy Crush, Fortnite, Clash of Clans, and more. Add it all up, and it's not uncommon for someone to spend $200 to $400 a month just to be entertained. That's over $4,000 a year. That's enough to kickstart a retirement fund or build a basic investment portfolio. But the real cost isn't just financial, it's time. Spending hours every night binge-watching shows or grinding through video games means missing out on the chance to learn new skills, grow a side hustle, or simply connect with your family. People with a wealth mindset understand that time is an asset, just like money, and it should be managed just as carefully. This doesn't mean you have to give up entertainment completely. It means you need to control it. Regularly review your subscriptions. How many are you paying for but barely using? Are the games you're playing draining your time and money without giving anything meaningful in return? Doing this audit, even once every few months, can save you from falling into a trap of unconscious spending. On the journey to financial freedom, trading a few hours of mindless entertainment for skills, opportunities, or long-term savings is one of the best deals you can make. Because the real difference between the rich and the poor isn't who's better at video games. It's who manages their time, money, and energy with purpose. 7. Chasing the latest tech. One of the fastest ways to drain your finances, without even realizing it, is the habit of constantly chasing the newest tech. It's surprisingly common to see people living paycheck to paycheck, being the first in line for the latest iPhone, the newest gaming console, or cutting-edge gadgets like VR headsets, even as they struggle to pay rent or keep up with monthly bills. The truth is, the consumer tech industry has built a marketing machine designed to make you feel like your current device is outdated just months after you bought it. This fuels impulsive buying behavior, which is especially dangerous for those who haven't built a solid financial foundation. People end up sacrificing financial stability just to avoid feeling left behind. A very real emotion, but one that adds zero long-term value to your life. Spending on technology isn't inherently wrong. The problem is when and why you're spending. A $1,200 phone doesn't make you smarter or help you earn more money if all you're using it for is scrolling social media or watching videos. What's worse is that many of the people who buy tech this way have no parallel plan for saving or investing. They spend first, then scramble to figure out how to pay often racking up high-interest credit card debt and deepening the financial hole. Wealth-minded individuals approach this very differently. They don't rush to buy the latest release. They wait, sometimes 6 months to a year, to buy refurbished models or take advantage of deep discounts. They judge tech based on function and financial impact, not emotion or hype. That's how they maintain control over their spending and build wealth that lasts. The solution is simple. Delay any new tech purchase for at least a few weeks and ask yourself honestly, will this device help me earn more or improve my life in a meaningful way? Or am I just afraid of falling behind? If you can't answer with clarity, it's better to wait. That money could go into savings, investments, or skill building, things that actually move you closer to real financial freedom. Technology should be a tool to support your life goals, not the reason you stay trapped in debt and illusions of a modern lifestyle. 8. Gambling and lottery tickets. For many people, especially those struggling financially, gambling and lottery tickets represent a dream shortcut to a better life. With just a few dollars, you could win millions. But here's the truth. That's not a plan, it's a fantasy. And for anyone serious about building real wealth, relying on luck is one of the riskiest and most damaging financial strategies you can adopt. On average, Americans spend over $50 a year on lottery tickets, amounting to billions poured into a game with near zero odds of winning. Meanwhile, that same money, if invested wisely over time, could grow into thousands of dollars. The difference lies in mindset. Those with a wealth mentality invest in real, tangible assets, while those who misunderstand money often chase the fleeting hope of, maybe I'll get lucky. Gambling, whether it's at a casino, online games of chance, or weekly lottery tickets, has one thing in common. The system is rigged for the house to win. Casinos don't build billion-dollar resorts because people keep winning. They profit from the constant stream of money lost by people who think they can beat the odds. Psychologically, the illusion of almost winning pulls people in deeper, draining savings, retirement funds, even personal assets, all for a hope that was never real to begin with. Many justify by saying, I just play for fun, or it's only a few bucks a week. But repeated small habits are what define your financial life. $10 a week might seem harmless, but that's over $500 a year. Enough to start an investment account, learn a new skill, or pay off part of debt. Financial freedom doesn't come from waiting on luck. It comes from discipline, strategy, and action. Don't wish for early retirement by hitting the jackpot. Build it through saving, investing, tax planning, and growing your active income. That's the path to real security and lasting wealth. And remember, hope is not a financial strategy. Betting your future on random numbers guarantees one thing. You'll always be the loser in a game designed for you to lose. 9. Smoking and vaping. Among the habits that silently destroy both your health and your finances, smoking and vaping rank near the top. With the average price of a pack of cigarettes in the US around $8, smoking just one pack a day adds up to $240 a month, nearly $3,000 a year. And that's not even counting the cost of vaping products, oils, refills, or accessories, which can quickly pile on hundreds more. It's a massive financial drain that many people overlook. Now look at the long-term impact. If you redirected that $3,000 a year into an investment with a modest 7% annual return, you'd have over $40,000 after 10 years. After 20 years, over $100,000. These aren't theoretical numbers. This is real wealth lost year after year to sustain a harmful habit. That gap alone could mean the difference between financial freedom and struggling in retirement. And the financial damage doesn't stop at the store. Smoking-related health issues, heart disease, lung disorders, cancer, dental problems can lead to enormous medical bills that stretch on for years. These costs not only affect your own physical well-being, but can also create a financial burden for your entire family. Many people don't realize that every cigarette they smoke is a trade-off, a step away from long-term wealth and a healthier, more secure future. Personal finance is a big-picture game, and every small habit plays a role in shaping your outcome. Quitting smoking or vaping isn't just a health decision. It's a strategic financial move. Those with a wealth mindset see beyond the temporary comfort and recognize the real cost of their choices. If you're trying to take control of your life and your money, start by cutting the expenses that give you nothing in return. Today, there are countless tools to help you quit. Savings trackers, support groups, behavior therapy apps, all designed to free you from a habit that's costing you more than you think. Always remember, sustainable wealth can't be built on self-destructive behavior. Every day you go smoke-free isn't just a win for your lungs. It's a leap forward for your financial future. 10. Lack of tax knowledge. One of the biggest invisible expenses middle-aged individuals face each year is overpaying taxes, simply because they don't understand how the system works. Many people assume taxes are fixed, unavoidable, and what they're paying must be correct. But the truth is, countless employees are paying far more than necessary just because they're unaware of legal deductions, exemptions, and tax strategies that could save them thousands. In the U.S., the tax system is far more complex than most realize. Beyond basic income tax, workers also face deductions for Social Security, Medicare, state taxes, and federal fees. And for every extra dollar you earn, you may only keep about 70%, sometimes less, if you haven't planned your taxes wisely. This directly affects your ability to save, invest, or grow wealth over time. Meanwhile, wealthy individuals don't just make more money, they keep more of it. Why? Because they understand how taxes work and they use that knowledge to optimize their income. They invest in dividend-paying stocks, rental real estate, and long-term holdings that benefit from favorable or even zero tax treatment. For instance, qualified dividend income or long-term capital gains may not be taxed at all if your total income falls below a certain threshold. These aren't loopholes, they're smart, legal strategies used to build lasting wealth. To avoid being one of the millions overpaying the IRS each year, you need to build basic tax literacy. Learn the difference between earned and unearned income. Understand how Roth IRAs work. Explore the benefits of filing a Schedule C if you freelance or run a side hustle. These tools can help you save thousands annually. Money that can instead be used to invest, pay off debt, or strengthen your retirement fund. A wealth mindset isn't about avoiding taxes. It's about mastering the tax code legally to your advantage. If financial freedom is your goal, understanding taxes is just as essential as saving or investing. Don't let ignorance cost you a stupidity tax every year. Take the initiative to learn or work with a knowledgeable financial advisor. So every dollar you earn is working for your future, not leaking away through tax rules you didn't even know existed. 11. Try to live like the rich. One of the most common, but quietly devastating, mistakes in personal finance today is trying to look rich, even if it means sinking into debt, financial stress, and long-term instability. Many people spend on designer clothes, luxury watches, expensive jewelry, and high-end gadgets, all in an attempt to project an image they believe will earn them admiration or respect. But the reality is, most of these things bring zero real value, except to drain already limited resources. Social media has amplified this pressure to pretend. From photos next to supercars and luxury vacations to unboxing videos of brand-name goods, we're constantly shown a version of life that feels aspirational, but often isn't real. This is the trap of short-term thinking, where appearances matter more than substance. An image replaces the actual goal of building lasting wealth. What's worse is when people begin using credit cards, buy now pay later plans, or high-interest loans just to keep up the illusion of success. The truth, real wealth rarely looks flashy. Truly wealthy people often live far more modestly than you'd expect. They understand that value isn't in what you wear, what you drive, or what brand you flaunt. It's in freedom. Freedom to choose how you spend your time. Freedom to do work you love. Freedom to live on your own terms without money calling the shots. They have nothing to prove because they already know what enough means for them. A powerful way to avoid falling into the look rich trap is to clearly define your own financial goals. Ask yourself, am I spending to impress or to build real value? If the answer is to impress, it's time to realign. Setting and living by your own version of enough, instead of chasing someone else's standard, is the foundation for achieving sustainable wealth without sacrificing your financial security. And finally, remember this. Most people aren't watching you as closely as you think. Everyone's caught up in their own lives, their own struggles. Don't trade your future just to win the approval of people who aren't even paying attention. A wealthy mindset isn't about looking like you have money. It's about using your money to create the future you truly want. Thank you for staying with us until the end of the video. That alone shows you're truly committed to building wealth and taking control of your personal finances. We hope that these 11 common mistakes have helped you recognize areas that might be holding you back from reaching financial freedom. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Which of these mistakes have you made in the past? Don't hesitate to share your thoughts or personal experiences in the comments below. We'll see you in the next video with even more practical, powerful wealth-building strategies to help you take the next step on your journey.